Hi friends, and welcome back to the vlog. Here's the fun topic we've all been waiting for. Safety while living in an RV as a solo female, and also what kind of weapons. I get a lot of comments in different groups, even on YouTube, about safety. A lot of other women taking a great attention to regarding this topic, since, you know, there's a pretty big amount of solo female van lifers or RV lifers on the road, and they're doing it the same kind of way as each other. This is to let everyone on YouTube know as well. I think that I can speak for a majority of us, obviously not all, but we are aware of our surroundings pretty much all the time. I'm always 360 looking around me, and that is not just in the RV life. That was in my normal day-to-day, even while living in an apartment. I think that the biggest takeaway from this is I never post a YouTube video and put it out there for the public until I've moved a spot. Yes, I can still be in the same city or town or whatever it is, but I'm not in the same exact location. So that is not disclosed. Also, I never ever speak one-on-one with strangers, especially men, of like where I'm at, or even on the road. I've had quite a few people, and obviously this is pretty normal at truck stops, things like that, like, where are you headed? Oh, if I'm actually headed to Arizona, I'm gonna say I'm headed to Texas or New Mexico. Duh. Like, never disclose your location ever, for any reason, or however nice that individual looks. It's just common sense. Also, always, if you have a dog, even if they're not the most aggressive in the world, make it known like they are aggressive. My dog Ricky, sweetest dog, I've said this before, but if you try to come near me and you're a stranger and you're weird and something doesn't seem right, he's barking up a storm. This kind of happened yesterday as well. We had somebody drive by, an older man. He got out, he was just looking at the sunset, but Ricky went off. He was ready to attack, which is a good thing for me. So, you know, if you have a dog, I think that that's great as well. And I have my beware of dog sign out here, so that's another pointer for people to see as they come by. Also, I think it is super important to have protection, obviously. You know, this is something that we kind of can't get past this video without talking about. I know it's, you know, a little on the fence for some people. It makes you uncomfortable, but it can't. Because if you are living this life, you need to have your protection. For myself, I have multiple forms. I'm not going to say them all. But yeah, there is one thing that is like, yeah. I'm not going to say it on here because I don't know what, like, the sensitive thing, if they're going to ban me or something or flag the video. Also, other things too. Ladies, hairspray, sticky hairspray. I learned this from a former colleague that I worked with. Sticky, like a travel size can of sticky hairspray. If you don't have pepper spray, this is just as efficient. It sprays pretty far, and once that's in their eyes, forget it. Forget it, they're down. They're knocked out for a while, which gives you time to run. Pepper spray, obviously, to have. Also, Taser. You can get a small Taser as well. I got a small Taser from Amazon for $10. This is actually the size of it. Comes in a little travel case. It's this small. Has a wall outlet for charging, and boom, you're good to go. And they're knocked out. Yesterday, when I saw this man coming, even though, you know, I most likely knew it was nothing, but always be on your guard, you know, on your game. So he came over here, and what I did was I had my keys in my hand and my key fob, you know, here's the alarm button. Had the alarm button, had my finger on the alarm button. I also had, you know, another weapon with me. I also made sure I was on the phone, okay? Well, pretended I was on the phone with somebody. Just to make it look like, oh, I'm not alone, or at least I'm talking to somebody. Ricky was out here barking up a storm because he's ready to, like, go. He's on alert mode. So, but that's what I was gonna do. And then when I saw he circled back, which he, in the end, was looking for a campsite, which then he finally found a campsite. He was looking for, like, a clothesline to hang his clothes. That's not the point. I did get in my car because I park right in front of myself. So I park right in front of my hitch, but I park straight. I don't back. I don't put the front end of the car to the hitch. I want to be able to get out as fast as possible. So that's what's happening for me when I try to like face my car. I want to get out as soon as possible. So I did get in the car. When he came around, Ricky was still outside, you know, I'm watching, and then I did see him away to his campsite that he decided to pack up to. But I just wanted to make sure for my own safety and for my own peace of mind. This type of situation is happening at night and you have a unknown visitor come around, or you're just kind of freaked out. I did this for myself because I think that it's handy and I kind of don't have to worry about grabbing a bunch of things and holding a flashlight or even my phone, which the phone flashlight isn't the best thing. I have added a command hook here right by my door. So this is the headlamp I use, super bright, and it leaves your hands free. Don't be relying on your phone flashlight if you don't have to. It's great, you know, in the spur of the moment if you have nothing else, but if you're at your camper and you have these things, then I really recommend you utilize them. This is why I put the headlamp by the door. I can just grab it as I'm running out the door for that emergency situation, whatever it is. I have my phone and I have whatever weapon that I decide to use at that time. I recommend putting it in ease of access. I did initially have it under the cupboard here, under the sink, which no, I'm not going to have time to fumble around. I know myself, and you should know yourself as well too, how you react in kind of like anxiety filled moments and in panics. So it's kind of good to know yourself and really make the most efficient way out of that bad situation. Another good pointer is, you know, if you have an iPhone or probably any other phone, you can set your location and share it with family. So it can be running all the time to certain family members or loved ones that, you know, you just want them to have your location if anything goes wrong. That's what I do as well. Especially if I'm in more like remote locations, somebody always has my location, at least one person, so they kind of know my whereabouts at that time. Also, I think it is so good to have any kind of tracking devices in your rig. I'm in a travel trailer, so I thought it was a pretty good idea to like add an air tag in here, or you can add any kind of like fob that has like a tracker in it. But yeah, and I hide it in here. I hide a few, so it's great to have that just to know your security of your camper. If you're meeting up with new people on the road, you know, I've done this before too. I get too comfortable with people that I barely know. You know, we all do it. Always think of people as your enemy at first. You know, never disclose too much. You can even lie. I recommend lying in the case of, you know, like, oh, you know, I'm traveling with my husband or my partner or my girlfriend, whatever it is. Or, yeah, you know, I do this with my family, or, yeah, just lie. Just lie. Nobody has to know. I also want to preface this with saying thank you so much for all of the individuals on my YouTube, also on Facebook groups that have commented to me, you know, showing their sincere, I believe, worriedness for me, being a single solo female on the road. I really appreciate you caring and really going out of your way to say, hey, I think you should do this. Or I know a big flux of people, especially older women, have been reaching out and saying, hey, I think you should reword your title from solo female or solo traveler. You know, I'm on the side of caution. No. For me, no. Because I'm not going to fear monger my whole life just because of what men can do. Honestly, we can't. As ladies, we can't live our lives in fear. That's not a way to live. We're gonna never enjoy life to the fullest if we fear this and what could happen, because anything could happen to anybody at any time. It's, you know, all about just being as safe as possible as you can, taking precautions. But that being said, I know that there is such a big community of, you know, solo females and younger solo females on the road. And like I said earlier, we kind of all stick by the same kind of rules and standards that we go by while traveling, like as simple as not posting a live location of where you're at, and also showing like everything, you know, around you at that moment in time, and then post it to the whole internet to see. No. Also, never underestimate, you know, how a young woman could look, and you would think like, oh, well, I would go and get a weapon, you know, a weapon. Who's to say I don't have one, right? Because 99.9% chances are I do. So I think that we're all staying as safe as possible. I really, again, appreciate all of your care and all of your, you know, your shout outs of what you think I should do. That does mean a lot, but I promise you I'm already 10 steps ahead. Safety is something that you really can't mess around with, and really knowing your surroundings and being true to yourself and your gut. I think that's huge as well. If you get weird vibes, if you get weird auras, if people leave immediately, because more likely than not, you're gonna be right. Another tip too, if you know you're speaking with anybody, even friends or family or somebody who's starting the nomad life, who's living full-time on the road in their vehicle, please, and I'm giving you this for kind advice, please don't put a damper on that whole conversation at the beginning by saying, oh, be careful, you have to be careful out there. No, we don't need to start it that way, because I'm sure that person, or especially that woman, knows, yes, they're going to be careful. They're going to know that they can be killed. They can be sexually assaulted. It could happen. And they know that, but that's not the 100% thing that they want to focus on when they're telling a family friend, a family member, a friend, anybody. They don't want to focus on this. They want to be happy. So don't put the Debbie Downer on the situation right away when they're telling you for the first time that they're deciding to do the full-time van life or RV life. It's just, it really is disheartening. It was disheartening for me when I got that reaction from some people where it was like, I'm going to ask you, are you doing this alone? Yes, because I don't need a man. That's just my 2 cents on that, and I'm really saying that in a kind way. I just would hate for you to make the wrong impression to that young woman who's going out on the road for the first time, having, you know, all this optimism of adventure and everything that she's about to embark on, and then kill that whole mood with saying, oh, have you seen this happening, or, you know, trafficking. It's very real. I've been in those situations before where it could have happened to me. And I've learned from them, and I've gotten, you know, more precautious with everything. But be happy in that moment. Celebrate it. Talk about the, you know, the freedom and the journey and, you know, travel and what amazing people you're going to meet. I've already met such amazing friends, and I'm only a month into this. So focus on the positives before, you know, you kill them down the drain with the really gory stuff. What I also forgot to mention is another safety tool. If, you know, you're in your car, for example, if I'm in my SUV and I'm not in the camper, I can always still grab weapons in my car. And something as simple as a tool can be a weapon. That can put somebody down if they're whacked hard enough. So think about that. Utilize all of your resources. I think what also could be a pretty creative kind of way of deterring people who may be looking or prying on solo females, put outside your camping area a few chairs. Instead of using one chair, put a few out, maybe 2, maybe 3, just to make it look like you're in a group. Or you can also have some like men's clothing out. I've seen some women do that, like put men's clothing out somewhere on a clothesline. That wouldn't be useful for me, but you know, it may if you use a clothesline at your campsite. Also, what you can do as well is you can always keep your rig, your camper, your van, your tow vehicle, you can always keep it gender neutral. I don't really keep anything on the outside or visibly in my camper or my car to show that I am a female. So there's no flowery stuff, there's nothing like feminine appearance, because I don't want people to know that. I don't want people to know that, okay, this is definitely a woman's car. No. About what's been kind of going around the country right now is kind of like a prick of the finger on a gas pump, okay? So now every time, and it took me a little bit to get in the habit of checking. Now when I go and pump my own gas, I always check underneath the handle and around it to make sure that there's no needle or puncture, because what's happening is you go and, you know, you squeeze that pump, and guess what? There can be a drug, a narcotic in it, and that's when, you know, whatever traffickers can come and get you in that time once you're drugged. So it sounds crazy, but it's rather take that extra 2 seconds of your time to check your gas pump before you fill up. It's scary, but it's real.